straight males of Reddit. What's the gayest thing you've ever done? I had a dude suck whipped cream off the tip of my penis. Yeah, that's pretty gay. Was a medic in the army. First day at my unit. A guy walked in, whipped his dick out, and asked if it looked infected to me. We've been best friends ever since, and my son's named after him. Former medic here. I cannot tell you how many times some dumb infantryman would whip his dick out and ask if it was infected. This happened all the fucking time. Anyone ever heard of the game Gay Chicken? Two straight guys slowly lean towards each other as if a kiss is about to occur. First one to back out loses. Pretty simple. Dumb. Raised in South Carolina. High school boy game. Well, mama didn't raise no quitter and am pretty damn comfortable in my sexuality, so I'd win whenever challenged. Had the right technique for closing eyes and tilting my head for nose avoidance at the right times to make it believable. One day, I was challenged by a fellow senior, HS, who unbeknownst to me, was in the closet. So, I approach it with my usual gusto, and he doesn't back down. Our lips meet. We stay there for about 2 seconds and I think, hey, if I open my lips, like I will kiss, he'll back down. Nay, he did not. He shot his tongue right into my mouth. When the moment presented, I took the L, but told him I respected his game. Years later at a commitment ceremony between his partner and him, I got credited with being his first gay kiss. So that's kind of cool that I didn't turn him off men forever and make him hopelessly confused, I suppose. I find this absolutely ducking hilarious. I'm sitting here at 1:30 AM giggling deliriously at this comment. Used to be a game where you'd put your hand on another guy's knee and slowly move it toward their groin until one of you chickened out. I never lost. Had a friend who would try to mess with you by making this a game. He'd put his hand on your knee and say, guess what card I'm thinking of? And whatever you pick. I chose ace of spades. He'd say wrong. Guess again and move his hand up 1 space. I just flipped it on him by picking the same card again. He looked confused, but assumed I'd messed up until I kept eye contact and repeated the same card a 3rd time. He chickened out first. Well played. Wasn't me, but a funny ass story nonetheless. During high school I was a 4-year wrestler. Due to how wrestling is, the team itself are rather comfortable with each other, are not afraid to do stuff that the normal straight high school male would be too afraid to do. Stuff like take naps on top of each other, put holds on people laying down, etc. During sophomore year, our coach drove us upstate for a 2-day tournament and got rooms from a cheap hotel. While settling in, 2 of the wrestlers decided that they wanted to take a bath, but wanted to save time and water. So while in nothing but gym shorts, they proceeded to take a bath together. The funniest part is, when our coach was checking up on us to make sure we get to sleep, he asked where those 2 were, and we pointed to the bathroom. He entered said bathroom, and upon seeing the 2 chilling in the tub, he yelled, what in the duck are you 2 doing? Question mark? Apostrophe. And the older wrestler, in all his wise glory, just simply smiled back and went, hey coach. Apostrophe. So yeah, 2 perfectly straight guys, who I think also had girlfriends as well, decided to take a bath together and be perfectly okay with it. Nothing gay in saving water. So this is what a hydro homie is. High school marching band trip, 2014. The band is in Wildwood, New Jersey for an end of the year trip. The percussion kids decide to all gather in one of the hotel rooms to watch Frozen together. Frozen ended up being pay-per-view porn on the TV and a bunch of dudes jerking off together. Or, in 2016 on the way to MAC championships, a bunch of sax players, me included, were playing a game where the person in the front seat of the bus would have a goldfish cracker in their mouth, and we would have to pass it to the person in the back of the bus by kissing the other person and pushing the goldfish in their mouth. The last person would eat it. Keep in mind, this was the saxophone bus. There aren't many girls in the sax section at my old high school. So yeah. British military mid-90s. Imagine 5 drunk hairy-assed sailors dressed as Spice Girls with huge balloon boobs, pub crawling around a quaint little English village. No underwear under the mini skirts, and offering a free look at the goods for anyone stupid enough to look at them. TLDR, sailors. Beer. I was Scary Spice. I imagine you were all scary spice. Technically, got in a hot tub naked with 3 gay guys and we talked about relationships. But really, remove the gay element and it was just 4 dudes talking about life. No biggie. You should tell your dad about this. Was the big laugh line. 4 dudes chillin' in a hot tub 1 feet apart cause they are gay. I use this whenever I'm in a hot tub with straight friends. And it never fails to make me die laughing while everyone else groans. I had sex with a guy. Turns out I'm only into anal when it's with a chick. You can't knock it till you try it, I guess. If 2 people say they don't like broccoli, but one of them has tried broccoli before and the other hasn't, is one of them more correct in their dislike than the other? In this essay, I will explain how it is straighter to have sex with a man once than to never have sex with a man. Apostrophe. From a Twitter post, but relevant and more hilarious. I kissed a dude because I thought I was gay. Were you? No, I had a hard time attracting women, so I thought I was gay. Worked at a gay bar for years. People were friendly. Tips were really good. And honestly the guys kept setting me up with their female friends. 10/10ths were do again. This is the straightest gay story I've read so far. One of my best friends is gay. He refers to this as a no homo bro cuddle. I went to his house and stayed the night and we slept in the same bed. Completely non-sexual but did spoon. I was big spoon for comfort and just to cuddle. Reason being, his dad had recently died and he had been sleeping poorly since, lives alone. Said he just needed someone to cuddle with for comfort so he could get a good night's sleep. His love life is in shambles, so he didn't want another gay man because he knew they would just try to duck him as part of the deal. So I obliged and he slept well for the first time since the funeral. It was pretty gay to spoon with a gay man in his bed overnight, but I don't regret it. Edit. Reading all of your responses has made my New Year's Day. Genuinely appreciate the words of encouragement for my friend. Kind words to us both. And all the awards. You're too generous. Close bracket. And honestly I teared up reading some of the responses. Wish all of you a happy new year. Let's start 2021 off the right way. That's incredibly sweet. You must be a really good friend. He is a really good friend to me. So I do the same for him. As a gay man, I'm just gonna say, some of you straight men are just fascinating creatures. I like how some people are, like I came in a guy's ass and others are, like I held my best friend's hand once, and we've never spoken about it since. My straight friends once told me, straight, that they would have banged me if I was a girl. On the same vein, my best girlfriend said she'd make out with me if I were a girl. Apparently I'm exactly her type. If we ignore the dick, take the red pill and you get a GF. Take the blue pill and you stay single, but you can keep your dick. Hugs, cuddling, pulling friends to me by their belt loops. A bit coworker of mine has asked me if I'm into him. Nah, just not shy about affection. This same human, I have kissed his forehead and told him that I love him. Exact words were love ya, buddy. Penis doesn't interest me, but it hurts to not be affectionate. I'm very shy about showing affection, and so I basically want to be surrounded by people like you. D. Joined the Marine Corps. If I drew up a line chart of my life with X equals age and Y equals number of viral dicks seen, there is an exponential spike well into the hundreds on my first day of boot camp. What if I told you that eyeballs can be manually controlled to look elsewhere? It's somehow gayer if you don't look. I was so desensitized to meat gazing when I got out of the Corps. My first time with some buddies at a civilian gym. Everybody was conservatively covering up with towels in the locker room after showering, while walking around naked. My reaction was, "What are you? Gay?" Exclamation mark. "Show me your dick." Apostrophe. Vet humor. Man. You can titty twist, ass slap, and oil check, literally poke their butthole, each other. The general consensus being it's not gay, as long as it's funny. I won't even deny it when people say that's pretty gay. Because it's pretty gay. I had my best friend suck my dick when I was drunk once. Knew I was straight about 2 seconds in. Asking as a lady, is there a difference when a guy does it versus when a lady does it? Or was it just the visual aspect that made you go noope? Gay man here. I was being orally pleasured by a girl once. She was good at it, but I just didn't like it. I think it was knowledge that she's not a dude that turned me off. I'm assuming it might have been similar for the op. I stayed in a London hostel. Late at night I sat on a couch just working on my laptop. Couple hours later a guy sits down next to me. We get into talking and he tells me that he can't sleep BC some guys in his room were talking about sex and he got too horny and couldn't relax. I really didn't give a shit and just kept working. He was overall a pretty nice guy, but all of a sudden he takes out his phone and asks me if I mind. Having no idea what he's going for, I say I don't. He opens FUB and starts jacking off to gay porn. The situation was so surreal that I didn't know what to do. So I just sat there and waited it out. In between he told me that it really turned him on that I was there, even if I didn't do anything. After he finished we kept talking like nothing happened. Really cool dude. Other than that, changed jobs BC. He was so amazed by the shit he did for a living that I wanted to try myself. TLDR, stranger jacked off next to me and I waited it out so I could pick up our conversation again. What did he do for a living? Visit hotels, jerk off in common areas, and then write reviews on Yelp. Naked 4 AM drunk bench press session in the back garden of a mate's house with 2 other mates. We were drunk. There was a bench. Inevitably, benching happens. I can't remember who thought first this would be funnier if I was naked. Probably me. Please tell me you spotted each other too. Ain't nothing gay about safety when lifting heavy. Made out with guys due to spin the bottle. Balanced out by also making out with girls in the same games. One of the dudes was a much better kisser than the other participants. Well, thank you. I practice on the mannequins at Target. That's where I practice my blowjobs. Went with 3 gay friends to a dive gay bar with gay porn videos playing on screens. A nude live dancer. That kind of bar. Had a ducking blast. Got drunk. Got hit on. Flattered. Closed bracket comma. Danced as if I wasn't straight. Fun as shit. But my gay friends who I went with were horrified about how skeevy the place was. They told me you can never tell anyone we came here. Never. Apostrophe. Question mark? Question mark? Exclamation mark. Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Like, I was the straight one, but I was cool with it. What's up with that? Question mark? Great time, though. There used to be a gay club in town. Only went a couple of times, but had a blast every time I did go. It helps to get free drinks when you look like a bear. This happens to me a lot. I'm not good looking by any stretch, but apparently I look like the prototypical bear daddy. Oh well. Cheers. I got a boner while reading some of these comments. That's pretty gay. Edit. Gay men of Reddit, please stop messaging me. I don't want to be turned. My best friend from high school would spend the night all the time. We'd have sleepovers probably most weekends, but it was only ever him at my house. I don't remember why. I think it was because we didn't have a guest room, but I had a large bed, but no spare bed/air mattress for him. We would sleep in the same bed with a pillow lying down the middle of the bed. At least for a while, until we were less weird about it. We also watched the movie Teeth, because of the things we heard about it, because obviously. And my mom walked in, and we yelled at her to cover her eyes and get out LMAO. Last but not least, when I graduated high school, a year ahead of him, we took a road trip to Cali to meet some female friends we had. We stayed at his aunt's place that had one of those separate pool house things, and he was yanking it in the shower for like an hour or something. I asked if he was alive and okay, and he told me he thought his D/CK was broken because he couldn't finish. Then on the drive back we stopped at a rest stop to yank one out. He did it first and used my phone because only mine had reception for internet searches. Kind of weird saying all of this NGL because obviously, but they've created some of the most what the duck hilarious memories we have together, and I wouldn't trade our friendship for anything. I was at a gay bar with some gay friends and this young guy wearing a friggin' suit walked up and asked me for a dance. I told him I wasn't gay, and he said I just came out, and I want my first dance to be with someone beautiful. Apostrophe. I did a slow dance with the dude, and went on my way. Dude deserved it for that A+ line. That is smooth talking. Way too smooth for a first dance. Me and the boys once took turns taking a 10-minute ice bath at a hotel. Then measuring who had the smallest peen by the end of their ice bath. The smallest person won. So who won? Some Lutheran kid from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Barely measurable actually. Just a head protruding from a pelvic bone. Pretended to be my friend's boyfriend to prevent him from being hit on from this guy he didn't want to hit on him. We put our arms around each other and I kissed him on the temple lol. Gay or straight? No means no. And I'll do this 1,000 times more if I have to. There was a friend of mine who is a girl. We were at a bar with some buddies and she was off to the one end and I was watching to make sure she was okay. I saw a guy started talking to her and I could tell she was not interested at all and she tried walking away from him and started heading back to the group. The guy grabs her hand and is trying to coax her into being with him or whatever. I didn't like that. Dude, she's not into you, stop being a creep. I looked around to see if anyone else was seeing this and no one else was. So I, being the gay friend I am, went to their end of the bar and looked at her and her face was like PLS help me but with a smile on it. So I start hitting on the guy. He got super confused and I was telling him how hot he is and I'll buy him a few drinks and we can go back to my place. I was getting all up in this dude's face and just acting super gay. Reason I say acting is because my voice and personality doesn't come off as gay. You would not be able to tell I was gay. He lets go of her. She gets behind me and he shoves me back and I said, that was kind of hot. I love it rough big boy, and he saw he was making a scene. Everyone was looking. So he left. I hate dudes like that. You're a creep foe. They don't like it when it happens to them. Ha. When I was a teenager, me and my 5 friends were alone in the dorms while everyone else went on break. My 4 friends decided that it would be fun to have a masturbation contest to see who can come the fastest. I said hell no and became the officiator. They all went to separate corners of the room and readied the porn in their phones. When I shout go, they start jerking off simultaneously and the losers have to pay the winner's dinner. Interesting conundrum. Is it gayer to jerk off with 4 dudes or to watch 4 dudes jerk off? I'm picturing them all ejaculating on op in the middle of the room. So I'd say the latter. Had a crush on a guy back in high school or so I thought. Turned out the guy was a girl hiding in a hoodie with a buzz cut. I was seriously questioning my sexuality until I found out. Edited. Wow, this seems to have really resonated with a lot of people. So here is how the story ends. We started dating, it was an incredible time. While we didn't last, we kept in contact and we are both happy in our relationships, and the time we had I will treasure them as I cringe at them. This sounds like Milan lol. This guy's got me scared to death. Made out with a close friend when he came out to me as gay. He wasn't really sure how I would respond when he told me he thought I was attractive. I didn't know how I was gonna respond either. He decided to just go for it and kiss me. Honestly, best makeout session I had. Every girl I made out lacked the passion he did. Never made out with him again. Do it again. Report back. Mission brief understood. I giggled like a schoolgirl when a gay guy complimented me in New York in 2014. It wasn't the fact that I was flattered by the compliment. I was very flattered. But the fact that I uttered the most effeminate laugh I've ever had or heard from said compliment. I was in New York very often that summer after breaking up with a terrible, emotionally abusive girlfriend. And I got hit on by several gay dudes there. A big thanks to the LGBTQ community for helping me feel good about myself again that year. Edit. I didn't expect this to be received so well. Thanks so much. Edit 2. And yes, aside from hating and fearing a bunch of the obvious things going on in our world, I'm a very happy and happily married person. Now, bro, this is wholesome AF. Hope you're feeling good again, my guy. Wow, thank you so much for saying this. Exclamation mark. Luckily, after a few weeks, ended up having a pretty darn good rest of my 2014. As for now, I'm married to a wonderful woman that I've been with for almost 5 years. And we have a happy, healthy, smart child. Things are awesome. Thanks so much for asking. I once watched 300. Seriously though, I once held hands with a gay male friend at a party because he was ridiculously handsome and he wanted to discourage a stalker girl who wouldn't take no for an answer. That's homosexual, not homosexual. One would say bromosexual. Kissed a dude. Edit. Actually 2 dudes. Edit. 3 kisses and a blowjob. He did say no homo though, so he's good. I worked security at a gay bar, and while selling jello shots at the door during a holiday party, I let a big bear man kiss me on the cheek because he asked nicely, after I gave him a free jello shot for buying like 10 of them. Edit. Since this blew up, it was 2009, well before the pandemic. I spent this past New Year's Eve sitting on the couch with my wife, drinking cheap champagne and falling asleep before enjoying any of the snacks we had prepared, like the parents we are. Fair play to the guy. He saw a guy he thought was cute, decided he'd try his luck, and went for it. You gotta take chances in life. After all, you kiss 100% of the shots as you don't take. I told them I was straight. He said he knew, but wanted to anyway. I said duck it. It'll make his New Year's and isn't gonna hurt me. Went on a cruise with my best bro I hadn't seen in a year after I moved a few states away. The boat docks in Cozumel, and we both walk off the boat shirtless. No plan, but I eventually suggest renting mopeds. We get to the rental place, and he asks, "Can I just ride on the back of yours?" Me, okay. That's how we spent our afternoon. 2 shirtless guys cruising around on a moped, and has got his arms around my waist. What's great is that someone from the cruise had taken our picture on the moped, and when he got married, his brother's best man speech was actually a PowerPoint presentation that incorporated that picture. His brother said something like, "Some of you may not know this, but X hasn't always dated women." I was at the beach talking to a guy I had just met. A few minutes later his shirtless friend comes riding up on one of those 2 people bikes. Can't remember what it's called lol. And this guy, shirtless, hops on and rides away into the sunset, holding his friend's waist. It was an odd experience, but I got a good laugh. Edit. I have been informed that the duo bike is a tandem bike. I feel dumb. I Frenched a guy in a very drunken game of truth or dare. I have to say the big difference was the feel of stubble and the more aggressive tongue action. Like women, men have different kissing styles as well. This isn't my story, but I saved it from a similar thread ages ago because it made me laugh. Thanks again you/Bassett Intellect. When I was 8 years old, my dad bought me the original PlayStation. I was so excited that I rode my bike to my friend's house and ran up the stairs to his room to tell him to come play it with me. As soon as I told him, he grabbed my face and gave me a big smooch on the lips. Homie was totally heterosexual, but could not contain his love and excitement for new video games. Probably the weirdest moment of my life. We played Crash Bandicoot and never spoke of it again. I think I've had a similar situation before. I had a friend who was super high once and was just really happy this one particular day, and in his excitement he grabbed me and kissed me. I brought it up to him once way later, and he didn't remember it at all. So maybe I was crazy and imagining it? Kiss him again, see if it feels familiar. I was at a dorm party and we were all drunk. One of our friends is the annoying loud drunk and happens to be gay. He was complaining how it's been ages since he kissed a dude. Bro, I just wanted a chill mood so I could eat my pizza rolls, and he was killing the vibe. So I grabbed his head, made out with him hardcore for a bit, and threw him on the ground. He just laughed and said wow every now and again. Fit the vibe I was going for way better. So no regrets. You're my favorite person in the thread. Aggressive makeout just to get someone to shut up. Double penetration. Using the same orifice as the other guy at the same time. It's kinda weird. That EP feels great because you know that it's another man's dick, which is a reason it feels good. Like yeah, you're ducking a pussy, but you're also rubbing hard on another guy's dick. Intriguing. Well, I've kissed a couple of dudes. I do this thing at parties where I'll go out to the smokers and yell I'll kiss anyone who gives me a cigarette. Works almost every time. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.